Notre Dame football, the good, the bad, and let's face it, mostly ugly. Notre Dame versus Louisville edition. Last night was miserable. We all know that. Embarrassing is a good word, but I don't think it absolutely or accurately describes how bad it was. Disappointing, definitely up there as well. And it's on the coaching staff. It's got to, and it starts at the head coach and it works its way down, right? I don't know what Gerard Parker's doing up there in the press box, but he's not calling a football game. I don't know what he's doing, right? He's not learning anything. He's not coordinating an offense. Is he just play calling? Is he going down a list? I have no idea. Our offensive line looked terrible last night. Some of that was just being overwhelmed by personnel. You got 9 guys in the box. You got 5 guys to block. That's pretty easy math. But there's play calling that gets around that. You run short routes. You run some screens. Wide receiver screen, a regular screen pass. Right? When your quarterback's retreating for his life, you do something to help him out. The coaching staff didn't bail the offense out at all last night. Didn't give him a hand. Didn't help one bit. Total rushing yards last night for the team, 44. 44 yards total for the team. Estime had 20. Completely shut down. And the pass opens that up. When you got 8 or 9 guys in the box, yeah, you got to throw the football, but you can't throw a long route because you don't have time. So what are you doing? It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. In my mind, Gerard Parker needs to be out of here very quickly if he can't figure it out, right? If he can't figure it out against Southern Cal this week, because they're going to do the same thing to us. Duke did it to us last week. Louisville watched the tape. They did it to us this week. And Southern Cal did it to us next week. So if you didn't learn from the Duke game, you sure as heck better learn from the Louisville game. Figure it out. It's not that hard. Watch the film. Coach the boys up. And get them out there and get them doing the right thing. It's miserable. And I don't really know exactly what our offensive line coach Joe Rudolph's doing. You got Big Joe Alt out there getting bowled over by a guy that's half his size. That's a footwork problem, which is coachable. That's not on Joe Alt. And a handwork problem, which is coachable. That's not on Joe Alt. So what's going on? Coaching staff is 100% responsible for this game, for the outcome of this game. And I don't want to hear anything about execution or the students not doing what they went out there and they played their hearts out. I would like to see a little bit more fire from the defense. Coming out on the first drive, giving up 7 points on the first drive every time, and having to play from behind before we start playing well is a little bit ridiculous. But they're good, right? They're good. They're like, and they're coming out there, and I think they're doing the best that they can with the way that they're coached. They're not being coached well. Some bright moments in yesterday's game. The secondary overall played very well. We play calling again was a bit dodgy. We were running some zone defense against a team that we really can't run a whole lot of zone against continuously. I don't know why we're doing that. We were having a lot of success running man. I guess it was to stop the run. That's the only assumption I can make, is that we're running that much zone so that we can put more guys in there on the run blitz. I have the linebackers in there covering. But I don't want to rewatch the game. I would have to rewatch the game to give you that answer. Receiving last night, Jordan Faison had a breakout game. I was really happy to see him step in, take some reps. That went really well. Dropped passes killed us. Penalties killed us. I want to focus on some of the good things from this game, but there's just not a whole lot to focus on. And it's not necessarily from an execution standpoint. The defense, despite 33 points being on the board, the defense played a great game. Most of those points were field goals in the fourth quarter because we decided to go for it on 4th and 11 from our own 35-yard line. And then we had to do it again. Despite the fact that we got a 3-and-out, we had to go right back and do it again. Because the offense couldn't execute. Jeremiah Love played a great game yesterday. He averaged 7.5 yards per carry with 5 carries. I understand why he was in there for the game. I understand why they played Jeremiah Love over Estime. Estime appeared to be injured, not 100%. And I understand these students are tired, right? These young men that are out there playing, they're tired. This is their 3rd big game of the week, in a row. But some of this is avoidable. You don't get beat up like this when your offense is executing to the level that they're supposed to, and the play calling is giving them the opportunity to do that. We came into a football game last night, and Gerard Parker's up there playing checkers when we're in the middle of a chess match. That's all that can be said. It's miserable. So what do we do? Well, I hope we make some coaching changes, but maybe we don't make them in the middle of the season. I did say before the season started that 10-2 is about what I projected, but 9-3 would be unacceptable, and we're on track for that right now. We're on track for a 9-3 season, maybe even an 8-4 season, another 8-4 season. We haven't won anything yet. We haven't won anything at all. We've been close in some big games. And then we've lost last year to Marshall and this year to Louisville. And I'm not saying that Louisville is Marshall, but that's a game that we should have won. We should have put up almost 40 points against. Yeah, they've got a good defense. They got a heck of a team. They've got a good team. They do have a good football team. Athletically, we have a better football team. Coaching-wise, once you mix the two together, we've got a good football team. And last night, Louisville decided to play like a great football team. And we decided to play like a poor football team for a fourth quarter. Got to clean up the penalties. That's obvious. Not a whole lot of penalties called. We weren't nearly as penalized as we were against Duke, so that's another bright spot in last night's game. A lot fewer penalties, but the ones that we got hit with were brutal. We got Southern Cal this week. Southern Cal in 6 days. I'd like to see us shock them at home. We got to do something better. All right, that's it from me. I'm going to just leave it there. God bless. I love y'all. Keep looking up. Go Irish. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you back a little bit later this week. We'll preview the USC game. Have a good one.